Well, that's a great question, Charlotte, because from a public health perspective, the simplest approach would be if we had one vaccine that worked perfectly for anybody in the population, whether they're young, whether they're older, whether they have an immunocompromising condition or a chronic illness. If one vaccine formulation worked perfectly and was perfectly safe and effective for everyone, that's the easiest model. But a lot of data, a lot of results, a lot of publications show that human immune responses to vaccines vary. They vary by age, they vary by sex, they vary by other chronic conditions or illnesses people might have. And so this brings to mind the concept of bringing precision medicine to vaccine development. And that's why we established the Precision Vaccines Program. Yes, Charlotte, I had the great honor of having served on the Vaccine Advisory Committee for the United States FDA even before the pandemic. I spent 4 years serving when we used to travel in person to Washington, D.C. to meet, to discuss and vote on flu vaccines and other types of decisions that FDA had to make on vaccines. And I had finished a 4-year service with that committee. But then when the pandemic struck, they reached out to me and asked if I would rejoin the committee because they wanted to have somebody with that kind of approach, that precision vaccinology approach, on the committee that advises the US FDA. I remember sitting on the committee and voting for the Pfizer vaccine authorization. As you know, that was the first coronavirus vaccine authorized in the United States. It was a historic moment, and our deliberation were live streamed on Facebook and YouTube. I was told 100 million people across the globe were watching. Well, that's an excellent question. I think there have been multiple lessons from the pandemic. One is that we can deliver safe and effective vaccines faster than ever before. Nobody thought we'd be able to take a process that takes 10 to 20 years and compress it in less than a year. These were remarkable circumstances. It was costly, but if you think about it, a recent economic analysis showed because the pandemic was closing the global economy, it was leading to such catastrophic costs to society that actually releasing a safe and effective vaccine a mere 12 hours sooner would cover the cost of the entire Warp Speed initiative, which was over $12 billion. So that's how important speed is in the vaccine development. But with that, we also have to ensure safety. We have to have rigorous clinical trials, double-blinded, placebo-controlled, with rigorous analysis and ongoing safety surveillance even after a vaccine is released. So these are all important. We want speed, but we also want safety. In addition, we also reinforce the concepts of precision vaccinology. First of all, if you think about how the viral infection played out, older people got sicker on average than younger people. Men did worse than women. So you see that theme of precision immunology, right? And then with the vaccines, with the mRNA vaccines on safety, we saw more myocarditis in the young males than other groups. Or with the adenovirus vaccines, the AstraZeneca, J&J, we saw more of the thrombosis in middle-aged women than in other groups. So you will see again the concept that the immune system varies by age, sex, and other demographic features. And one of the lessons from the pandemic is we're going to need to take that into account. And one of the tools the Precision Vaccines Program uses to take that into account is human in vitro modeling, being able to model the human immune system outside the body so that we can de-risk and accelerate vaccine development and test systems based on blood donations from infants, older adults, those with disease. We could test in cell culture whether a vaccine or an adjuvant or other formulations will work well in a target population. That's another one of the lessons learned, and that approach helped us in a CpG alum adjuvanted RBD vaccine we developed in collaboration with Peter Hotez's group, and that was the Corbevax vaccine that's now authorized in India. Well, there's several threats. One is complacency. We're all tired of this pandemic. We're tired of the masks. We're tired of all the booster vaccines and all the rest of it. But as sure as the sun will rise tomorrow morning, sooner or later, there will be another pandemic. And God forbid it might even be worse than the one we just had. So we cannot be complacent. We must continue across the globe investing in the public health infrastructure, in the infectious disease surveillance, in the capacity to deliver safe and effective vaccines rapidly and at scale, in the vaccine research. It sounds like it's a lot of money to invest. On the other hand, if we see the costs of not investing in it, they far outstrip the costs of investing in this infrastructure. What I love is the ability to bring together exceptional people in vaccinology from around the world, from academia, from industry, from government, from NGOs, from CROs, bringing them all under one roof and have very open and fascinating sessions, debate, interaction, networking sessions. It's really a very special event, and that's why World Vaccine Congress is one of my favorite meetings every year that I look forward to.